The hit Netflix show Ozark, not Ozarks, is back for season 3, and it starts off in Mexico, where the Navarro cartel are in the midst of a dangerous and bloody drug war. So while things aren't going great in Mexico, things are really going well at the new casino. The Bird family has opened up the Missouri Belle Casino, and it is thriving. Marty has brought on Ruth to be one of the managers there, and while she cleans up nicely, she still has that Ruth attitude, especially when she has to deal with Frank Cosgrove Jr. Marty and the St. Louis mob have worked over their differences, with the mob also laundering money through the casino. And Frank has sent his son to monitor what's going on, but Ruth can't stand him. She doesn't respect him and, in general, just thinks he's an idiot. She also thinks that Marty needs to hurry up with laundering money, but he's very hesitant to do so, because he is convinced that the FBI has planted somebody in their casino. So his plan at the moment is just to surveillance the casino, figure out certain patterns, and try to weed out the potential feds. He doesn't want to bring any alarms. So while Marty is trying to figure out who in his casino is a federal agent, Wendy is in her office trying to figure out new streams of revenue for the casino. At the moment, she's trying to get a dentist convention to switch from one casino to theirs, and the sticking point right now is getting REO Speedwagon. But Wendy feels like she's wasting her time, and she comes up with what she thinks is a really good idea, and she wants Marty to bring it to Helen because Helen is visiting them the next day. Her idea is to purchase a failing casino near the Kansas border. She's looked over the paperwork, and just with an influx in cash, this casino could thrive. But at the moment, they're drowning in their competition. She thinks it'd be a great idea for the cartel because with this war going on, this would be a legitimate business that they could fall back on. It wouldn't be anything dirty, and it wouldn't be used for laundering money. And no matter how many facts she continues to bring to Marty, he is adamant that he does not want to do this. And their marriage right now is not going too well. Probably has something to do with the fact that Marty had an exit strategy, and at the last minute, Wendy told him they were staying. And the two are currently seeing a therapist, although Marty is paying her off, which Wendy doesn't know about. So after yet another contentious therapy session, they meet with Helen, who is on the heels of being waterboarded by the cartel because her ex-husband thinks he can win a custody case, and the cartel wants to know what he knows about their business. But Helen stays strong and says he doesn't know anything, and then heads over to meet the Birds. And her message to Marty is simple: start laundering the damn money. She doesn't care about Marty's concerns, she just needs the money laundered. And since Marty won't go along with her idea, as Wendy is walking Helen out, she decides to propose a new business proposal that she can take to the cartel. And this is all being done behind Marty's back. And after this meeting, Marty heads back to the casino where he gets in the middle of a fight between Ruth and Frank Cosgrove Jr. Ruth is setting up this inaugural poker tournament, and Frank Cosgrove Jr. wants in, but Ruth tells him to go piss off. Marty says, nah, just let him in. It's easier having a happy Frank Cosgrove Jr. than a miserable one. We have bigger issues because the cartel wants me to start laundering money and I have to figure out a way to do it. Well, Marty's a pretty smart guy, and his idea is to slowly integrate money into the cash boxes when they change them out. Normally those cash boxes are empty, but Marty will line the cash boxes with paper, and next thing you know, the dirty money becomes clean. After work, though, Ruth gets a phone call from the police to head down to the station. And the sheriff is currently talking to Darlene Snell, because at a mother's group class, she didn't like what one of the mothers said and decided to slash her tire. And the mother saw it in plain daylight, but Darlene is saying she didn't do it, even though she did. But Ruth was called there because of Wyatt Langmore, and Wyatt has not talked to Ruth since he found out that Ruth was the one that killed his dad. And Wyatt has been breaking into mansions on the lake until finally his luck ran out and one of the families came home and found him. So Wyatt is currently in jail waiting bond, and the cop called her because he figured that she would be the one to bail him out, but when Ruth gets there, she finds out that Wyatt doesn't want her money. And Ruth has been sending him $1,000 every 2 weeks, but he hasn't taken a dime of it. So Darlene Snell, being in the right place at the right time, decides, I'll bail the kid out. And when he gets out, Wyatt wants to know why Darlene, of all people, bailed him out. And she said, I respect the fact that you would rather sit in jail than take money from someone that you don't want it from. You didn't take the easy way out. So Darlene offers him a job on the farm in a way to pay her back. Now, one person that we haven't mentioned yet is Jonah, and when Marty gets home that night, Jonah pitches him an idea for a summer job. Both Wendy and Marty have been on him about getting one, and he decided with his new drone that Charlotte gave him, he can basically be a security company. He can monitor the comings and goings of people on the lake. And while Marty is pondering this, Wendy gets a phone call from Helen saying that they will pick her up tomorrow to take her to Chicago so she can pitch her idea to Omar Navarro, the head of the Navarro drug cartel. And the next morning when Marty heads to Buddy's grave to start getting some money to launder through the casino, Wendy calls him up and lets him know that she's heading to Chicago to meet with the Navarro drug cartel. And she knows full well, too, that he was too busy to pick up the phone and she could go straight to voicemail. But at this point, there's nothing Marty can do other than to start laundering the money and get ready for the inaugural poker tournament. And as Ruth is introducing the players and going over the rules, Marty sees out of the corner of his eye somebody he recognizes. And it's Agent Trevor Evans, who is Roy Petty's ex-boyfriend. And he has come to inspect the IRS documents of all the participants in the tournament. But as he's getting ready to leave, he tells Marty, this is the part where I'm obligated to tell you that you can make a deal. Marty tells him, I have no need to make a deal. And Evans reminds him that Navarro is losing the cartel war. He says, how long do you really think they're going to be loyal to you? It's all right, though. You'll make a slip up, and when you do, I'll be right there waiting for it. But the inaugural poker tournament is going on, and Frank Cosgrove is making an ass out of himself. He's getting frustrated because he's losing, and he's yelling at other participants. Finally, it gets to the point where Ruth says, "Get him the fuck out of here." And when she kicks him out, he gets really pissed off. He hunts her down on the boat that night, and she threatens to kick him out, to which he threatens to kill her. And when he does that, she gets really annoyed, kicks him in the balls, and literally throws him off the boat into the lake. So while Frank Cosgrove Jr. was going for a swim, Wendy Bird was meeting with the head of the Navarro drug cartel, and initially she thinks the meeting went really bad. But Helen tells her that I've never seen him give anybody that much time in a meeting before, and the meeting lasted all of 2 minutes. That night, Wendy gets a phone call from Helen telling her that Navarro wants to go along with her plan. Thank you so much for watching this recap of Ozark, not Ozarks. People get really upset when you put the S on it. If you don't see the next video up in the corner there on the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up shortly. Please consider subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and there's a share button for a reason.